Freedom Friends, Winnie here with week 3 of Fear Busters. And this week we're going to be talking about busting fear with knowing that God is with us all the time. And I've got a great story for you guys. It's got some crazy names in it, and it's in the book of Daniel, chapter 3. It's the whole chapter, but it's only like 30 verses, guys. It's totally easy to read. So, it's about this king. As I said, crazy names. His name is Nebuchadnezzar. Say that 5 times fast. So Mr. Nebuchadnezzar, he builds this giant statue of gold. And he tells everybody, hey, I have this big, beautiful statue of gold. And whenever I play some sort of musical instrument, you guys drop what you're doing and you bow down and you worship this gold statue. That's weird. I don't know about you guys, but like if somebody told me to do that, I'd be like, no, that's weird. Anyway, he was the king. He was like the president. They had to follow the rules. Well, the rule was put in place. They started to hear the music. They dropped everything and they bowed to the statue. Well, except for these 3 guys. Again, the crazy names, you guys, the crazy names. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Aren't you glad your parents didn't name you those names? Woo. So, these guys, they served God, and they know that they don't worship anything else, anyone else, any gold statue. They worship God. And so, they got back to the king that they were not bowing down to the statue and worshiping. Oh, and Mr. Nebuchadnezzar got so mad, so very mad. And he said, everybody knew, these guys made the choice knowing what would happen. The king said that if you did not worship this statue, you would get thrown into a furnace full of fire. So, Nebuchadnezzar, he's crazy. He is so mad that these guys are not worshiping this statue. And so he says, turn up the furnace 7 times hotter than it already is. And so they gather Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they bring them to the furnace. And let me tell you guys, it was so hot. And also, I didn't catch this the first few times that I've read this story. That's why it's important to read your Bible over and over. I didn't catch this tidbit. So, the people who were charged with throwing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fire, they had to get close to it to be able to throw them in. These guys died. They died, not even being in the furnace, just by throwing the guys in there. They got too close and they died. But what is amazing is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, their faith, they knew that God was with them. And you know what? The king, he was watching this the whole time. So he knew that his guys died, and he knew it was really hot. It really was 7 times hotter. But he saw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walking around inside the furnace room. Fire everywhere, flames. And he's like, wait a minute, didn't we throw 3 guys in there? Why is there 4? There was an angel in there with them. Well, they said, okay, turn off the furnace, get those guys out of there. We got to figure out what's going on. Those guys should be dead. Just getting too close, not even inside kills people. But they're alive. So they bring the guys out, and he says, what is going on? How did you guys not die? And they said, well, we worship our God. And our God says not to bow to anybody else or to worship any other idols. And Nebuchadnezzar was so amazed. He knew that God had saved those guys. And so he made a new law. He made a new law. And he said that everybody had to worship Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's God. And so, I don't know about you guys, but I want to know that God is always with me. I want to have that faith and that confidence. And you know the best way to do that is 2 things. Reading your Bible consistently every day, even if you've only got 5 minutes, or if you have a half hour or an hour. Spend that time in the Word, because that's how we learn God's promises and who He really is. And that's how we get to know Him. And then our time in prayer. That is also so important because that helps us have communication with God. Like we have confidence in our parents and we know that they will take care of us because like we've spent our whole lives with them, so we know them. It's the same with God. We got to spend time with him to get to know him. So I want to challenge you guys this week. Build your faith, build your confidence in God, and knowing that he is always with you to bust those fears. Well, this is Winnie signing out. Have a great week. Bye.